friends, welcome to CEC Gurukul Lectures. Here we are for you with another session on career counseling called Pratibha Samvardhan. And today we are talking on informed decision making and careers in psychology. In the previous session, we discussed on various parameters of informed decision making, and now we are going to talk in detail about careers in psychology. And for this discussion, we have with us Ms. Shivya Sachdeva, who is a career counselor, as well as we would like to tell you all she is there in the one of the leading schools of Delhi NCR, and she is giving her best. If you have any question pertaining to today's lecture, today's topic, do call us through our toll-free number. Our number is 1-800-110-430. I repeat, our number is 1-800-110-430. We are looking forward for your calls, as Ms. Shivya is there to answer to all of your queries. So let's welcome our guest, Ms. Shivya, once again. Hello, Ms. Shivya.
Hello.
So we have discussed a lot on this informed decision making. Now it's time to know about what are the careers in psychology. So through you, kindly throw some light so that the students who would be watching us would get insight. Yes, one can land into area of psychology too.
Absolutely. So I think psychology as a subject, as a professional career, is booming a lot, especially over the past few years. We have seen an upsurge in the students, in the number of professional opportunities psychology as a field has to offer, and the number of students who are pursuing psychology. Psychology, if I say, is the study of human behavior, right? It's a scientific study of human behavior, to put it into better words. साइकोलॉजी या मनोविज्ञान एक बहुत ही बूमिंग फील्ड है, स्पेशली इन टुडेज टाइम व्हेन यू नो अ लॉट ऑफ अस आर स्ट्रगलिंग इंटरनली. हमारे आई थिंक आई कांट इवन पॉइंट आउट वन पर्सन जिसके अपनी लाइफ में कोई इश्यूज नहीं होंगे. एंड एज वी सीक डॉक्टर्स, एज वी सॉर्ट आउट डॉक्टर्स, व्हेन वी when we feel unhealthy or when we feel ill, हमें बुखार होता है, हमारा गला ख़राब होता है या कोई भी तबीयत ख़राब होती है, we sought doctors. अगर हमारी मेंटल हेल्थ ख़राब होती है, अगर हमें लगता है that आई एम नॉट बीइंग एबल टू फंक्शन प्रॉपरली, मुझे I need help, then it's better. There's no, you shouldn't shy away ever, because I know that there's this stigma attached before resorting to a psychologist. But धीरे धीरे वो भी ख़त्म हो रहा है. So psychology as a field is gaining more popularity, and I've seen this upsurge, especially in India, and I'm very proud that we're recognizing the importance of mental health and the need of a psychologist in India much more now. Psychology as a career, if you wish to pursue, you can opt for the subject of psychology in your plus 2, in your senior secondary classes, and then eventually you can pursue it from India or abroad. In some countries and abroad, you might need mathematics to pursue psychology. For example, in some universities in Canada and US, you might need mathematics. But in India, let's say from Delhi University, you need to appear for CUET, you need to give a subject combination exam, and then Delhi University and a couple of other good government universities and even private universities accept CUET scores and ranks, so you can appear for that. Apart from that, there are a lot of private universities also which have their own entrance examination and their own applications process, and you can apply to those universities also for to study psychology. इसके अलावा you can then pursue a master's in psychology and eventually pursue a career in psychology. अब मैं अगर psychology की बात करूँ तो सबके दिमाग में आता है कि डॉक्टर या फिर someone who's giving therapy or someone who's giving counseling. Mostly एक layman के दिमाग में वो आएगा, but there's more to psychology. Psychology, I think, is there in each and every field. There's psychology in corporate sectors, there's industrial psychology or organizational psychology, social cognitions की लोग कैसे behave करते हैं कुछ situations में, what are some factors that influence their behavior. There's there's social psychology for that. If you wish to study, let's say disorders and then eventually give therapy, get into clinical side of it, then there's clinical psychology. If you want to get into the counseling aspects of it and you want to more than getting into clinical disorders. You wish to speak with people and help them out through the counseling process. This counseling psychology. इसके अलावा there are other branches of psychology like health psychology, forensic psychology, criminal psychology. There are endless branches. तो सिर्फ psychology, डॉक्टर या काउंसलिंग या थेरेपी नहीं होता. There is so much more to that. And yes, to pursue a career, you should definitely go for a degree from a good university.
Now the question arises: are there different fields or different areas of psychology too, or I could say the branches of psychology?
Yeah. So, like I just mentioned, that there are so many branches of psychology, and some of the very popular I'll talk about, क्योंकि branches तो endless हैं. अब let's say a part of psychology is also therapy, right? तो आप therapy में you can do movement therapy, you can do music therapy. There are so many. There's art therapy, right? तो आप काफ़ी चीज़ें, it's like an interdisciplinary field. But I'll talk about different branches of psychology which are very popular according to research and statistics. One of them is industrial organizational psychology. Mostly jobs would include, just career opportunities such as helping employees in a corporate work setup, adapt better to the work environment, all the resource, the human resources, planning leadership campaign, or planning workshops for the betterment of work productivity amongst employees in corporate sectors is another dimension, or what comes under industrial or organizational psychology. इसके अलावा one of the most famous fields is also clinical psychology and counseling psychology. It's when you study humans. You study if they are facing difficulties, if there are some symptoms present, and then you make a diagnosis, and then you do a diagnostic workup, and then eventually give them, like a plan, a workup plan. How can they, better manage the disorder? So that's more about clinical psychology. Another very famous, branch of psychology is also sports psychology. It's basically helping athletes, sports persons, adapt better, because as athletes, I've also been an athlete, and I understand the importance of a psychologist in an athlete's life. So when we're on court, when we're when we're on the field, when we're playing sports, there's so much pressure on us, and this pressure as athletes we can't even put into words, because it comes from such a deep place from within, that people outside, people who are not in that position, they can't empathize. They might be able to sympathize, but they can never empathize. So being an athlete in the past, I understand the importance of psychology, and now this is recognized worldwide. Not just the teams, a lot of teams in India, but teams worldwide hire sports psychologists to go along with them on their tours to take care of the mental health and mental well-being of the sports players. So that's another very famous branch of psychology.
When we're talking about different branches of psychology, are there different courses available for different kinds of or the branches of psychology, or one has to go through the same curriculum or the same passage to do such courses?
No. So mostly at the bachelor's level in India, mostly, of course, there are some niche courses, very specific, domain-specific courses that you can pursue. Bachelor's in clinical psychology, not just in India, abroad it's like more prevalent abroad, but in India it's mostly like you can go for a BA honors in psychology or in applied psychology, and then eventually in the last semester, this is the government DU curriculum I'm talking about, you can eventually choose a field or choose some subjects that you think align more with your interests. But at a master's level, or even if you're very sure, then you can pursue counseling psychology, clinical psychology at a bachelor's level also. But for a lot of students, and this is for most of the students are not sure which branch of psychology should I go for, because they are yet to explore different branches of psychology as a part of their undergraduation curriculum. So I'd advise that they go for a general BA honors psychology degree and then eventually make a more informed decision when they know कि इस branch में ये होता है, इस branch में ये होता है, because you study different papers. So and then eventually at a master's level, you can choose to specialize in a particular field. You can choose sports psychology, you can choose industrial organizational psychology, you can choose organizational behavior, social psychology, clinical psychology, anything that you wish for.
So at master's level, you are very, very focused what you need to do. But even after doing a particular course in a particular branch, and you feel so, no, this is not the area for me, or I'm influenced by some other branch. So what are the chances for me then? Can I switch on to different course? I mean, the psychology course on the different area?
Yeah, of course you can. I mean, in the previous segment also we were talking about it, whether we can switch or not career-wise. But yes, you can. If you feel that you've pursued clinical psychology and that is not the field for you, and you feel that eventually, I'd not be able to perform so well, you can look for some other certification courses in organizational psychology, some other branch of psychology that interests you better, and then eventually make a decision that aligns with your interests, with your passion. So, yes, you can definitely do that.
Now, what are the emerging trends in the area of psychology, if we talk about in the present scenario?
Okay. In the present scenario, I would say that now the importance of therapy, the importance of counseling is gaining importance, and which is why clinical psychology, counseling psychology as a field is gaining more importance. However, apart from that, even health psychology is gaining a lot of importance. Understanding how the nutrition, the food that we eat play a role in managing the mental well-being in our life is also gaining a lot of importance. Another very emerging field, again, it was already very popular earlier also, is organizational psychology. Today, corporate world, they realize the importance of mental well-being of their employees for maximum productivity and efficiency in the workplace. So it's gaining more and more importance day by day. So that's another emerging trend. Another one would be again I mentioned it, sports psychology is another very emerging trend. So these are some very emerging trends in the field of psychology.
Though we have covered series of lectures on study abroad, now if I want to pursue my masters or my graduation from abroad, so how to go about? The same process applies for one goes for the study abroad plan, or something different?
Yeah. So if you are applying domestically, if you're applying within India, the process is it's vastly different. And when you're applying abroad, it's very different. So to give an overview, there are some it's a three-dimensional way where we can do applications if we're applying abroad. If India, it's mostly entrance exams or maybe a round of interview, and then these the round of interview is more for private universities. For government universities, it's the entrance exam now. So that's the trend. But abroad, it's more of a holistic view. They take into account your holistic development and not just your grades, your entrance exams. So there are different entrance tests that you can take. Some aptitude tests, for example, in the US, the SATs or the ACTs are very popular. They're not mandatory in all the universities, but it's recommended that if you give them, you get an edge over the other students. However, there are some universities which are also test blind, by which they mean they don't consider the entrance test scores at all. So, but if you take it, it does give you an edge over the other students. If you get a good SAT score, like let's say a 1550 or a 1530, something, a 1500 and above, I would say is a very good score. And a 1550 and above would be an excellent score. इसके अलावा if you go into the US, there are some AP exams which are known as advanced placement exams. So these are college level courses that you can pursue while you are in high school. So if you feel that US or some other country which accept AP credits, is something that you're very focused upon and you wish to go to that country, I'd suggest that you go for an AP exam starting in class 9th, 10th and 11th. Take 2-3 AP exams to begin with. You can go for more, 4-5 also. This is if you're targeting very good universities, like some universities like Princeton, Harvard, that level. So in case you do that, it shows intent, okay, and you get college credits which are transferable. So you end up, because college life is like you need to pay for credits and not for in the US you have to pay for credits and not for the degree itself. So you're paying for specific credits, and if you end up saving those credits, let's say you've completed 3-4 credits pehle hi, while you were in high school, you can save money and also time, and it shows a very strong intent which eventually kind of gives you an edge and increases your chances of getting admits from some of the top universities in the world. This is one, okay, which are test scores. Another aspect is your school grades. So your school grades are also very important. I wouldn't completely discard them. They're very important. They play a major role in your applications. In fact, your 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th predicted grades play an important role. In the US and in other countries also, in some countries they might just ask you for your 10th grades and 12th predicted grades. But in most of the countries, especially if you're applying abroad, 9th, 10th, 11th scores do come into account. So just think कि मैं सिर्फ boards में अच्छा perform कर लूँगा, especially if you're planning abroad, wouldn't be a wise choice. So you need to pull your socks up from the beginning, from class 9th, and you need to perform well academically. So that's another thing. And the most important thing is your profile. So abroad universities give a lot of weightage to the activities that you do outside the classroom, not just academically, not just theoretical work, not just the paper and pen test. They don't suffice to that. They take into account what have you done outside the classroom in terms of competitions, in terms of internships, in terms of coursework, certification work, perhaps writing a research paper. Where is it that you stand out? School involvement also plays a very important role. If you think that you can become a head boy or a head girl, or a president of some society in your school, then do pursue that, because leadership is also another very important factor that college admissions committee take into account. They think that's very important for like they give preference to leaders in making. And if you get yourself involved in different activities in school, in community work, volunteering here and there, and not just this, there are so many, there are plethora of activities, a wide area of activities to choose from. So that way you can actually brush up your profile, and these are some things that come into account while you're applying abroad.
Now, for all those students who wish to go into the area of research and development, or want to be an academician in future, so for them, careers in psychology would be fruitful or not?
Absolutely. Research and development is a very, very important factor in the field of psychology. And not just in psychology, I think in every subject, research and development plays a major role. So if you want to become an academician, or you want to get into, you want to teach students, you want to become a professor eventually, you want to pursue research and development, in psychology can really come in handy. Of course, you would be expected to give more emphasis to the statistical psychology, like the statistics part of it, because in research and development you should be good with the statistics part in psychology. But you can have a wonderful and a very, I would say, financially stable career in the field of psychology if you're in research and development.
Definitely, though you have explained, in elaborative form. But what do you think? What are the future avenues for the students who are into psychology? Though you have explained how health, the area of health, is taken care of now in every sector, because every
Yeah.
company, the corporate sector wants the employees to be in the healthy state, and that's why we have psychologists over there. So, what would be the emerging areas in the future? What do you think? What is your say?
I'd say training and development, of not just at the corporate level, everywhere. We need to evolve. We're not living in a time where, without professional evolution, without increasing our knowledge base, even at the age of 50, we can't live without professional evolution. So training and development, understanding ourselves, increasing self-awareness is something very important, which is why training psychology, developmental psychology is a different field of psychology which taps onto the developmental aspects in a human. So there are different stages of development. So that's another field of psychology, a very famous branch of psychology. But apart from that, I think that training needs understanding. These workshops, organizational psychology is a very emerging field.
We have seen that the yoga has taken, it has taken these seats, and everybody is into yoga these days. So do you think one who is into yoga or the yoga practices, for him or her, practicing psychology would be an added advantage?
Absolutely, it could be. It could be. So, see, yoga is, it relaxes us, it helps us stay fit. It's a form of exercise that's very famous across the world. It's not just exercise, it's a whole institution in itself, right? And now it's become so popular worldwide that yogic exercises really play a very major role. So we also recommend yoga as an exercise if students are struggling, or if humans are struggling in their everyday life. Then even psychologists suggest pursuing yoga, because it really helps you calm your mind. So and it's a very important integral part of Indian psychology. So like people who are pursuing yoga, and if they couple it up with psychology, they can have a very I would say enduring and very bright future in in future. Yeah.
So we would like to thank you for giving such a thoughtful session, and we believe that the students would be benefiting from this particular session who watched us live. Thank you so much for watching us live, as well as those who couldn't. For you, we are going to upload this lecture on YouTube for you, so that you can access the lecture the number of times you wanted. And afterwards, if you have any question, do write to us at cecgurukul.live@gmail.com. We'll try to give answers to your question by taking help of Ms. Shivya only. So friends, keep watching us, keep writing us. We would be meeting again next Thursday with another topic on career. Till then, take care. Goodbye. Thank you so much.